Good morning, children. Today we have to start a new topic in the next part of the online video. Today we have to go for the second part of our lesson, laws of motion. The last time we have learned about Aristotle theory, Galileo's theory, but they both did not satisfy the condition. So one more scientist who worked out on their drawbacks and started his theory. So that is Newton. So today we are going to learn Newton's first law of motion. So, so Newton has started his ideas using the idea of Galileo, and he has formulated three laws. So out of that, today we have to go with the first law of motion, that is Newton's first law of motion, or simply we can call it as first law of motion. So what is the statement here? A body continues to be in a state of rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless an external force is applied on the body to change the state. So you have to remember this. You know what is state of rest or what is uniform motion and along a straight line. This is all we have learned in the last lesson. So what is the statement for Newton's first law of motion? A body continues to be in a state of rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless it is compelled by an external force. The external force on this particular body, a body cannot change its state. That means when if a body is in the rest, it will continue to be in the rest as long as no force is applied on it. If a body is in motion, unless an external force applied on a body, the body will not come to rest. So rest to motion on its own it will not come. So motion to rest also on its own it will not come. We have to apply some external force, then only the body can change its state of motion in the form of rest or in the form of motion. So, Newton's first law of motion is divided into three parts. So, just listen part by part. So, first part of the Newton's first law of motion is a body at rest continues to be at rest until an external force is applied on the body to move the body. This situation daily we can see in our day-to-day life. A book lying on a table will continue to be there. How long? You don't pick it up, or whatever you see, the chair or the table or your bed or sofa or whatever the objects we take, it will be continue to be in the state of rest unless someone comes and apply force to move that object, then only it displaces its position. So whatever the object we consider, they will continue to be in the form of rest only until and unless we apply a force on those particular objects, whatever we take, then only the body will displace its position. So you have to understand that if a force is applied on a particular object, then only the state of motion takes place. What is the state of motion here? From rest to motion. I hope you have understood this first part of the Newton's first law of motion. Now, second part of this law, a body in uniform motion continues to move uniformly unless an external force is applied to change its speed. Here, in this part, it is very difficult to understand because a ball rolling on a ground does stop after some time. You tell the answer, yes, it stops. But that is due to the frictional force acting between the surface of the ball and the ground. Similarly, when an engine of a moving car is switched off, it stops after traveling some distance. So motion of every body is being opposed by invisible forces. Here the invisible forces means it may be the friction. Like air resistance also you can take. And if these opposing forces were removed, so a body will continue to be in the uniform motion. No one can stop it. So what is the condition here? A body in uniform motion continues to move uniformly unless an external force is applied to change its speed. Here the opposing forces may be the resistance or the frictional force you have to consider here. Now the third part of the first law of motion, what is it? A body moving along a straight line will continue to move along a straight line unless an external force is applied on the body to change its direction of motion. So what happened here? If a car want to take a turn which is moving on a straight road, we have to apply a force on the steering wheel of a car so that you can take a turn at a particular point of your car. Similarly, when you are using a bicycle, if you want to take a turn, similarly use your force to change the direction of your handlebar of your bicycle. So that in this case, you are applying a force, then only you can change the direction of a vehicle, whatever it may be, a car, scooter or a cycle. So you have to remember that unless and until the body is moving in a straight line, no need to apply a force to change the direction of the object. So whenever a chance comes to change the direction of motion, you have to apply an external force. So you have to remember that a body moving along a straight line will continue to move along a straight line unless an external force is applied on the body to change its direction. So it may be a bike or car or cycle. It will not, the body will not change its direction on its own unless you apply a force to change the direction. Then only the body will change its direction. Here the body may be a car, cycle or your scooter also. So here Newton's first law defines force. What you have learnt in 8th standard. Just listen carefully. What is that? The force applied on a body alone can change its state of rest or state of uniform motion along a straight line. This is all we have learned in 3 parts, what I have explained already. So we may define force as an external effort in the form of a push or pull, which actually tries to move a body at rest or tries to stop a moving body or tries to change the direction of motion of a body. So this is how Newton's first law defines force. So in 8th standard, you have learned that force unit as Newton, but in detail we did not explain in 8th standard. Okay, I hope now you understood the three parts of Newton's first law, and that by that we can define the force. So let us understand this Newton's first law in the form of activities. So your first activity is that observing the motion of a coin on a cardboard. This cardboard is kept on a glass tumbler. So what you are observing here, glass is there, on that a cardboard or a paper, on that a coin is lying. So what you have to do is this coin actually is in rest. So when you are applying a force on the cardboard, see the picture, you have to give a blow to the cardboard or the paper which is kept on the glass tumbler. So when you give a blow on this cardboard, the coin will not come out with the paper. The coin want to remain in the rest because we are not applying any force on the coin. So it want to remain in the rest. So what happens here? This coin, after giving a blow to the paper, this coin just gets into the glass tumbler. So here the coin want to continue its state of rest here. So what I explained in the first part of your Newton's first law. So the coin want to continue its state of rest here. Remember that point. Our next activity is observing the motion of a coins hit by a striker and on the carom board. So when you strike a particular coin using your striker, it changes its uh, direction as well as motion and you get the coin. Similarly, one more point I'll tell. If you stack all the coins and keep at the center and only you target the last coin, what you will observe there? Only the last coin of the stack of coins will move, the other coins, what happens there? The other coins will be coming vertically downwards. On the last coin tries to change its position. Why? Because the body, other coins, they want to continue in the state of rest. So they don't want to accept any change in its position. So, but whereas the last coin, on the last coin, you applied a force. So the last coin changed its state. So you have to remember this. So whenever you apply a force on a particular object, then only the object or the thing will change its state. If not, the body want to continue its original state. So here the original state of all the stack of coins are in rest position. But you applied a force on the last coin. So this last coin is compelled by a force, then it changes its direction and motion also. This activity is that you have to observe the stack of books placed on a table. What you have to do, you just take any one of the book from the stack of books. What you are going to observe, the other books will be in their position. Only the book which you are applying force and removing, that will come out. Okay. So one more thing I'll tell you, what you can see in your day-to-day observation in your classroom. If a CT books or your classworks has entered into the class by some of your children, immediately you want to, if CT books means you have a zeal to know how many marks you scored, if really you have done well. So automatically the person who want to check, he will come to the teacher's table. If at all this will be done in the absence of teacher. If teacher is there, the books are lying there, you cannot do that things. So when you come and when the teacher is not there, you want to take out because you'll mark some names somewhere and you will pick up your own book. When you're picking up, the other books will be like that only lying in the rest. Only the book you are taking out, that changes its position. So you have to remember that here the other books, they want to continue their state of rest. On the book which you apply force, that changes to motion. That means you are applying force and that changes its position. Okay, I hope you have understood this. What are the activities I have explained? So on the whole, you have to remember in such a way that what is static inertia? Static means at rest. So here, static inertia means the body at rest always tries to stay at the same state of rest. So this property is known as static inertia. So a body want to continue its state of rest unless it is compelled by some external force. It will not change its state from rest to motion. Okay. So listen to one example. What is this? If you kick the football on the ground, it starts moving in a particular direction. So it will continue in the same direction unless another person or the player stops it or changes its direction and he should kick the ball which is moving already. Then only the ball changes again its direction. So you have to remember the body which is in motion always try to move in the same direction until some force acts on it. This property is known as dynamic inertia. So let us consider one example. What is this? A football placed at rest on the ground. What happened? It will remain in the state of rest only unless some external force applied on it. Then only it starts moving. And one more thing I'll tell you, just listen. If you kick the ball, it will fly in the direction you kick with some speed until a force slows down or stops it. So if the ball is going high into the sky, what happened? There the force of gravity slows it down. If the ball is rolling on the ground, what happened? The force of friction makes the ball to slow down or stop. So you have to remember here, if the net forces, you know what is meant by net forces, you have learned in your 8th standard. So how many forces are there? Two vertical forces, two horizontal forces. This all once recollect those forces. Okay. Now I'll continue with today's topic. If the net forces acting on an object is zero, then what happened? The object which is at rest remain at rest only. If the object which is already in motion will with some velocity will continue the same velocity. So we have to remember that Newton's first law, if F net is zero, what is F net is zero means if both horizontal and vertical forces become zero. I hope you have remembered that. That's what I told you. Recollect those 8 standard things. So if F net is zero, then the velocity of an object is either zero or constant. So net force acting on a body is zero. We say that body is in equilibrium position. That means if a body is in rest, it will continue to be at rest only. If a body is in motion with some velocity, it will continue its motion with some velocity. So Newton's first law is also known as law of inertia. So you have to remember this point, children. So in today's class, we have learnt all the three parts of Newton's first law of motion and with few examples. Okay, children. Thank you.